Hello and welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. I want to do something just a little off the wall, just a little something different. And years ago, when I was still working in a call center, I've been in the position I'm in now for about 12 years. So this was a long time ago, and it was to give you an idea. It was the Microsoft free web beta. It was the beta for their for a website, and I had a website, a little chipmunk, and it was called Curious Coons, I believe, and just had a lot of neat family stuff. I had a little page for Transformers, I think, a little section for some stuff, a little bit about my family, but not too personal without giving too much real information out. And a movie theme, and a page that had like lines from 10 of some of my favorite movies. Guess the movie. Of course, one of them was really from my wife. It wasn't. I had something from The Sound of Music on there. I'm not a big Sound of Music fan, but my wife is. So there was little things like that, and I had a drawing of a raccoon because I just enjoy raccoons. I'm not being racist. I love raccoons. I had a raccoon puppet when I was a kid, when I was 6 or 8, when I was in the hospital with my hip operations, when I was like around when Pac-Man was the thing. I got more raccoons, et cetera, et cetera. I got pictures back there. Originally, all that was raccoon pictures, and we took. The raccoon clock is still over there, and those three right there also were raccoon pictures, and some of them I just gave away or threw out or something, because it was like a wall of raccoon pictures. So they've been back there this whole time. In my novel that I got to get back to, that I was working on, is about a raccoon. I really enjoy raccoons. I half grew up in the Talladega Pell City area. That land is no longer in our family, and it was off in a slough off the water somewhere. And we didn't go to church. We went there almost every single weekend, and we had boats. And if you've been following me along with the Transformer card stuff, you know this already. But what am I getting to? On that website, thecuriouscoons.org, which is gone. You can look it up, but it's gone. It's just gone. So yes, things can get deleted off the web, believe it or not. Rest in peace, WDMB, Working Designs Message Board. But anyway, and there might be a picture of that archived hidden somewhere, but the signs of yesteryear. But I had on my old website that I had set up, and it was free. It was free. I had a thing about cheeses, and I would make these little blogs about cheese and certain cheeses that I liked. In a little history of a cheese, a little bit. And for the most part, we had this neat little grocery kind of hippie grocery store, for lack of a better term, and which was in a really nice area. We had to drive to get there, and they had a little lunch brunch area where you could buy a sandwich and sit down and eat. And they had the best burgers. Oh my gosh, the best burgers. But when you walked in, it was like a grocery store, tiny little grocery store, very ritzy, some expensive stuff, a nice wine section, which if I bought anything, I may have bought one bottle of Muscadine wine one time. It was pricey. And in the very back, on rare occasion, and it was the first place I ever saw horseradish cheddar cheese. And I'm like, whoa. And I love horseradish, sauce. And when Arby's introduced that to me as a kid, and I always would add and mix in horseradish sauce and Arby's sauce on my roast beefs, and I was just in heaven. It was just a taste. I'm like, wow, I love this taste, even if it was just flavored, even if it wasn't quite real. Little birdie coming right to the window. So they had some neat cheeses. We were able to try them. Just a lot of neat stuff. The presentation was wonderful. The cheeses were wonderful. Some of them were imported, and they had some American cheeses too. Some of the Amish cheeses and etc. Just huge section. Well, unfortunate, this tiny little high-priced little grocery store / brunch place, prices were going up. My mother-in-law, who liked going out there, passed away. The grocery store closed, but it had introduced me to cheeses. And I'm a big cheese guy. Used to be a bigger guy, 7 years ago. But all these cheeses and all these tastes, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. And I would go there specifically just to buy horseradish cheddar cheese. And then when they closed, I'm like, well, shucks, where am I gonna go now? And when Food World Bruno's kind of went down and did its thing, I couldn't go to the grocery store over here. It was gone. And so I had to go find another grocery store, and I went to one of our local Publix's. And Publix is a little pricey. Food World was gone, and their prices were wonderful. And I missed that. But when I went to a Publix and I was get our groceries, I'm normally the one that gets our groceries. They had a nice deli section. They still have a nice deli section. Originally, it was a grocery store that was based in Florida. The first time we ever saw it, it was back in like 1990, 91. We went down with the jazz band to Orlando, and we walk out of the bus, all 30 of us, all us students from high school, and we see this grocery store, and this one friend goes, Publix! And we just, because we'd never seen one before, and he yelled Publix, and we just all died laughing. It was hilarious. And well, they've now come into our state, and they're a very large, growing grocery store chain now. And so when I finally went into this Publix and went into their deli section, I'm like, cheese! So I saw all the cheeses, and I saw they had horseradish cheddar, and I'm like, yay. And way back then too, when I first went in there, if you went to the deli's on one side, the cold stuff and dairy is on the complete other side of the grocery store, because they got cheese over here and then packaged cheese over here. In their packaged cheese, they had all these different kinds of Publix bars like this, except this is Kraft. And well, the bars over there, they had all these different Publix flavors as cheese, and included, and I've never seen this again, they had horseradish cheddar cheese in a bar. You can't find it anymore. And they had it for about a year. I may have been the only one buying. I wasn't the only one buying it. I know that. Because I remember I took the bar and I took it back to the deli. I said, hey, can y'all slice this for me? And they're like, oh yeah, we don't mind doing that at all. Wow, shock and amaze. Customer service was just wonderful. Still is. You want to go to, if you think there's racism around, go to a Publix. They'll prove you wrong. Just a wonderful store, wonderful employees, wonderful service. The people that do the registers, the checkout, are just wonderful people, beautiful people. They want to give your full attention to you while you're there, and they're ringing up your stuff for you. And then there's someone else will, bag your stuff. You're not stuck having to wondering if you're going to be bagging your own stuff like at Winn-Dixie half the time, or the self-daggone checkout at Walmart. Sometimes you're stuck doing self-checkout, and I've never realized how much I do not like bagging my own stuff, especially if I've got a grocery basket full of groceries. It's a small chore, let me tell you. So Publix doing that, and then they'll even offer to take your groceries to your car, and help you out if you need it, which is wonderful. Most of the time I say no thanks. Sometimes I will let them go and help me. Just great people, let me tell you. Just a great store. They need to, if they can keep that excellence of customer service up, everyone else can learn something from Publix, let me tell you. But so thanks to Publix Deli, before COVID, you could go and they'd be slicing your stuff, and it's like, hey, do you want to taste something? They would give you tastes, or give you a piece of cheese or meat to taste, because they're wanting you to buy their stuff. They're wanting you to buy their ham and their turkey and their Cajun turkey and their spicy chicken, this and that, the buffalo chicken, Boar's Head. They have Boar's Head brand, which is really good. Even their own Publix brand stuff. Their plain Publix ham looks like the stuff I used to slice at Blimpie, which is the big difference between Southern Blimpie, if we still have them around, and Subway. Subway, all their stuff comes pre-cut to the store. I've been in a Subway too also, but Blimpie, we sliced everything by hand in front of the customer to make their sandwiches. I don't know if there's any Blimpies around anymore. And but anyway, so I've gotten to be able to try lots of cheeses. Publix will not just slice the cheese, they will put every single slice with wax paper between every single slice. They haven't done that 100%, but about 9 out of 10 times they do layer your sliced cheese with wax paper, so it's not all stuck together. You're not having to use your fingers or your fingernails to try to pry the slices of cheese up, which is really good. But throughout the years of going to the grocery store at Publix, I've been able to try, I'm not a cheese connoisseur by any means, but I really have enjoyed and finally tried different cheeses, because normally I would only eat American cheese because that's about all I knew. My family was very practical. We were they were very logical and very frugal. I had the same thing for lunch at school when I was a kid: peanut butter and jelly, Doritos Cool Ranch, and a Little Debbie. That was it. Most of the time I was eating in the band room when we weren't supposed to, and I would get a Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb from the machine. That was my lunch every day in high school. Elementary was a little different, but, well, even in elementary, in my lunchbox, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, chips, drink, or maybe not a drink, and something sweet to eat. And I would go get my chocolate milk, my 2 things of chocolate milk. I mean, I ate the same thing every single day for years. And I was happy. I was good old happy little white boy, and eating the same lunch every day for 10 to 12 years. In the meantime, my parents were trying to save money to help with my college, which when I was working at Blimpie, all that money and plus went towards paying off my loan. I ended up getting a job that was in my career for 2 years, and I was getting the loan paid off. I kept making the payments, so everything worked out. I don't know why I'm getting into all this. I was wanting to talk about cheese. I've got cheese sitting right here, and thanks to Publix grocery store. That's right. I was talking because the cheese trio at Blimpie. Oh my gosh, $2.45. Gosh, I miss those prices. That goes back to about 92, 93, 94. And it had, provolone, American cheese, and, oh gosh, provolone. Is it mozzarella? What's the third cheese? Swiss. American provolone and Swiss. And that's all it was. And whatever else you wanted on your sandwich. That was the Blimpie cheese trio. And I'd have one of those because if you worked at least 8 hours, you were able to get a free 6-inch. So, and that's probably why I was getting so big back then. But I worked there every day, just about. And I kind of missed that. That was a really fun experience, really good experience. But cheese, I like cheese. And thanks to Publix, I've been able to try Munster, which is actually Munster. Publix is also, I found, and Munster is, that's how I pronounce it anyway. Not Munster, but very creamy, very light, not a very strong cheese, which is like, unlike Brie, which is kind of a strong cheese. I've actually, when I was in college, I had goat cheese pizza, and I didn't realize it was goat cheese on there. I knew it tasted different, but I got used to it because I thought that was all that we could have was this goat cheese on the pizza. And I remember eating my pizza one day, and my friend was like, "Well, why are you eating that goat cheese? Why didn't you just ask him to put on mozzarella?" And I'm like, "This is goat cheese? I can ask for another cheese?" It's like, well, I'm used to this now. I didn't realize you could ask for mozzarella on your pizza at the little walk-up at my college, because we were commuters. We didn't have the money to eat upstairs in the dining room, which was really nice. I mean, I got to a few times, but cheese. Munster, I love Munster. I love Publix's brand of Munster. Actually, Boar's Head is good, and they still have the Boar's Head horseradish cheddar cheese, which I really like. And let me tell you, this might be a good introduction for this. Next time I will talk about the cheeses specifically. I didn't mean to go this long, but I think this was a good introduction as far as the background, where I'm coming from, and why I'm not being too random here. I mean, yeah, I've got the owl videos now. The owl has been helped. He's gone. He's flown the coop. We haven't heard from the owls in a while because I guess they're out of season. They've moved on. They will be back. I got a lot of my Transformer card stuff. I'm still inspired to talk about the gospel and the Lord's work and sharing that with y'all too, if y'all so choose to listen to that. Sometimes I'll do a little political video on occasion. So there's a cat. That's a big cat, and it went around the corner. Never seen that cat before. Anyway, gosh, I gotta get back to work here, guys. But just a nice intro to where I'm coming from, what used to be on my old website that is no longer around anymore, because I like free, and have my passion for cheese, where it came from. Learning different cheeses, being able to taste and eat and buy different cheeses other than just American all the time, because that's really all we had when I was growing up. Like I said, my parents were very frugal. You want a cheese, you got American cheese, and we loved it. But that's all I got for right now. But next time, I really want to get into some of this. Yes, this is non-brand, great value Walmart mozzarella cheese. To be continued. We'll see you next time. We'll get into the cheeses next time. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. there will be more cheese.